Hey, hey, hey there, my Power Book 3 Raising Kanan fans. It's your girl, Barbie J, and I am back. That's right, we are back with Power Book 3 Raising Kanan Season 2, Episode 1, The More Things Change. And I know y'all sitting there going, I haven't heard from Barbie J in a while. And you're right, because some of y'all know I've been going through some stuff. But I wanted to hurry up and get through episode 1 and episode 2 of season 2. So let's get through this real quick because have fallen behind and I'm about to play catch up with y'all. All right. And don't forget, for those of you who haven't subscribed to my channel as of yet, take a moment right now and hit that little subscribe button. That's right. Then hit the thumbs up button because you like the content that you're hearing. And then you could share and what else? Comment below. That's what else. All right. Now here we go. We got Kanan. You remember how it ended? Symphony was driving him somewhere south or whatever. Well, he ended up going to Virginia. Kanan's on the beach in Virginia and he's thinking about things, and Rock comes up to take him back home, and Detective Howard has been in the hospital for 3 months and they want to discharge him, but that fool looking around for a ring that he said he was wearing when he rolled up in there, and he can't find it. So supposedly he done lost some of his memory, and a doctor is telling his partner, what's her name, Burke or something, that his recovery with the cancer and the holes in his chest is just close to a miracle. And she's like, so you believing that he can't remember what happened that night when he got shot? And he's like, it's not uncommon, he's letting her know. So you can already see she gonna be a problem. But then we have Rock's sister. Well, I think it's her sister, because they were calling her Aunt Deb. I don't know, either she a close friend of the family or the father's sister. I don't know. They never made it clear, but she's somebody's sister. Anyway, she has 2 sons, and that's who Kanan was staying with, and she was offering to enroll Kanan in school near her and let him stay there to be safe. But Rock is like, no. You know what I told you. He stays with me. He goes where I go. I was like, please, Rock. He been gone for 3 months. He been there. So you ain't been there. Anyway, so Aunt Deb told, Kanan and the sons were talking, and they said, Kanan admitted he liked being in Virginia, to be honest. And meanwhile, his cousins were saying they wanted to go where he was. But, Kanan, Aunt Deb told Kanan that he and Jukebox can come and visit her anytime. She loved having him here, and so did the boys. So that was that. Then we got Lulu. Now we playing catch up now. Lulu and Jess, they're debating about her brother Famous's career. Lou says she always being Famous manager all the time. When she gonna be his girl? And they start arguing, and Lou is like, he drives off after saying he don't give a F about Famous career. That's her job. I said, okay. Then we hear as he drives off, he's at a light and he has a young woman singing in her car. So when the light, he's trying to get her attention, and when the light changes, she pulls off and he speeds up and cuts her off and gets out. And of course, she got some mace in her hand, and he was asking who's singing, and she was like, look, I got mace and all this stuff. And he said, look, that's my beat. She's like, so what? She was that type of person. And she admit that it was her singing, but she's pissed at him for cutting her off. And she pulls, he pulls out a card and gives her his business card saying who he is, and she's not impressed whatsoever. And I'm laughing. I was like, yep. And so Lou gets back in his car and says he looks forward to hearing from her soon, and he drives off. Meanwhile, Jukebox is still tripping off of Nicole's death. And you know what? I feel so bad for Jukebox. I really, 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 really do. That poor girl. She being raised by her father. He tried to choke her out for getting her. And then some drugs that was in her bag. Her girlfriend died. And that was the one person that she had that she could talk to, even though it was a secret. And still, what was that? What's that song? Our Secret Love Affair or something? I don't know. Anyway, what else? So she she had a cassette tape, and she left the cassette tape on the headstone, on Nicole's headstone, and it said "hurt so much." So I don't know if she's singing it or something, or it's a song she knows, but that's what she did. We got Rock driving back home and telling Kanan that Detective Howard is getting out of the hospital, but he has memory loss. Kanan is all panicked and is very concerned, saying, he might recognize who I am and remember my face or something like that. And Rock is assuring him that he will be safe, that she got his back. We know about that. We know Rock don't have his back. Anyway, Marvin's out of jail because Tony disappeared. She disappeared, cut out, and she was supposed to be the secret informant or something like that. But he had, was it Reed, or did he call it weed, or did he call it reefer on him? And now he has to take an anger management class. And his attorney told him, "Oh, look, all you have to do is go in there, sign in, you can leave." That's what he thinks. Then we see Detective Howard getting home, and his partner is noticing a folder on his desk that says Kanan Stark's name. He tells his partner how he felt in the hospital, and now he feels that he's getting a second chance at life, and he's going to do things different and right now, and he's going to be the best version of himself he could be, yada, yada, yada. And his partner lets him know that Unique didn't shoot him, and that the person who did is still out there. So, and Detective Howard says he could only be concerned about what he can control. As she leaves, and he looks at her leaving out through the blinds in the window as she get in her car. Then we got Rock. She brings Kanan to the you remember those project apartments, those 2 project apartments they had where they could drop the product down between floors? Anyway, when they go into the building, the residents that are standing by the elevator move out the way and don't get on the elevator. And Kanan's peeping and saying, "Ma, why nobody got on?" She's like, "I don't know. You got to ask them." And she's smiling and smirking. I don't know. And so as he walked the halls, Kanan was looking around, and he noticed that his mom had just basically, as he put it, changed the whole game. He said all of the drug selling was in the building and off the streets. So 5-0 had no idea all this had existed. So they get into the apartment, and Kane is greeted by Marvin and Scrappy. All is good. Next, they show a quick scene of Unique. Unique's in prison, and one of the officers is upset because he heard that he's getting out. And Unique said, "Because I didn't do nothing. That's why." I don't know why they showed that quick scene like that, but that's what they did. Then it switched back over to Jukebox, looking at pictures she had stored in a shoebox. I believe it's her shoebox of her and her mother. And her mother's name is Kenya. And as y'all all know, it will be played by LaToya Luckett. That's right. LaToya Luckett will be in this episode. Y'all, I don't know if y'all remember, but last season, I was in 2 episodes. I just changed the subject, didn't I? I was in 2 episodes of Raising Kanan, and I quit doing all of that work. I'm going to have to get back into it because it was fun doing the background work. I don't know if y'all remember seeing me in the church scene, but yes, I was. Maybe I'll try to post that picture right up here for y'all. Anyway, let's go on. I'm sorry I did that, but reading this makes me want to go back to doing that background work. Anyway, so then we have Rock is having a business meeting, and Lou comes in late, and Rock has some choice words for him, and Scrappy saying the tenants are complaining about things, and Rock explains how they going to correct those things. And we also learn about Scrappy and why he's always betting on everything and stuff, because his dad was a bookie and his mom used to have card games in a basement every Wednesday night. But Rock asked him to lay off and lay low from all of that gambling. She don't want no problems. But as you know, Scrappy doesn't listen. So we got Kanan. He gets home, and Jukebox is there, and he lets her know that, Aunt Deb and them were asking about her, and they do their little handshake and hug, and they chit chat. He admits that he missed her, and she being mean in a little loving way, snapping on him and stuff. And he said, "You know what? I ain't miss you now." He's like, "I don't miss you no more." Anyway, they switch over to Detective Howard. He looking at that folder with Kanan's name on it. And I'll be honest with y'all. I honestly and truly believe that he does remember that night that he got shot and hasn't really lost his memory. I think he just trying to, protect Kanan. He don't want to get Kanan in trouble because he know that that's his son. Anyway, we see Lou, Marvin, and Kanan sitting around talking. Rock's in the kitchen cooking up something good. Mama's in the kitchen with that. Let me stop. Anyway, so she's cooking up some good food. Jukebox come down the stairs. Oh God, poor Jukebox. And Marvin asks her how she doing. Talking about he ain't seen her in about 3 months. And she goes, all right, and then walks right into the kitchen. And Lou and Kanan are peeping all of this that's going down. So Marvin keep trying to talk with her, and Juke said, I ain't got nothing to say to you. You know. And he keeps at it until Rock says, dinner's ready, y'all. And Juke walks away real quick, leaving Marvin standing there. So they're around the table, and Rock lets Kanan know that while he was away, they didn't have any of these dinners because his seat was empty. And she don't play that. If your seat is empty, that's it. We don't have no dinner. And then Rock gives them a speech about family and blood and disagreements between them. Anyway. Then we see Jess and Famous talking about getting back in the studio, but he needs to write some rhymes and stop smoking weed, because he a hot mess. He getting high all the time and ain't doing nothing, but he want to be famous, I'm sorry, no pun intended. Anyway, so she's telling him what he needs to do, and comes all out of his face, and he says some lewd and disrespectful stuff to his sister, and she's like, how you gonna talk to me like that? And he walked away talking about he needs a real manager. So she got pissed. Then we got Marvin still trying to talk to Juke. She gets up and walks outside to smoke a cigarette. Kanan comes out there and chats with her. Meanwhile, Lou talks with Rock. And you know what? Let me go back. I wonder if she told Rock yet that he tried to choke her. I wonder if anybody knows what he tried to do to her. Knowing Jukebox, she probably didn't even tell that part. Anyway, so I'm saying, meanwhile, Lou, he talks with Rock about the music studio, and she told him if it's not making any money, it's a hobby. And she said he's sleeping on their business for his damn hobby, and she don't like it. So then Famous comes by with his loud behind mouth, and we see Detective Howard in a car, spying on them, and he slowly drives by, and Kanan sees him. And Rock, Lou, and Marvin are inside at this point discussing business about Unique getting out of jail soon, or prison soon, whatever you're calling it, and getting his people to work for her so that Unique has nothing when he gets out. She tells Marvin he's going to be in charge of Baisley Park and Lou the 40s. Then we see Scrappy playing cards at his mama's house after Rock told him not to and to lay low. What happened? Scrappy's winning, but what happened? The police bust in and they all get arrested or taken downtown or whatever. And while they're down there, Detective Howard comes by to say hi at nighttime. I don't know why he come by to the precinct at night and to visit the guys, and he sees Scrappy and his mama in one of the what do they call, holding rooms or interrogation rooms. And so he makes small talk with the other officers and his partner, he learns is working on his shooting. And he's telling her, make sure she don't mess anything up and get it right. You got to be real careful, and they don't want any problems or something like that. Then they show Unique. He gets into a fight with 3 guys who were trying to make another inmate suck their ding-a-ling-a-lings. Ding-a-ling-a-ling, school bell rings, let me stop. But anyway, one of them had knocked into him and he pushed him back, and Unique whooped all 3 of their ASSs. I'm telling you now, he was not playing, tore them up. Then it switched over to the studio with Jess and Lou and Famous in there, and I think Crown too. I think Crown was there. And the girl Ziza came in, and he introduces her and say this like a new singer, and they go inside the the booth or whatever to try to lay some tracks down or something like that. And all of them are like, who is Aziza? And then Jukebox comes by and she's watching the girl singing and saying that she's good. Then what do we have going on? Rock is thanking Symphony for what he's done to help her and Kanan while they're sitting in a diner eating, and when they're alone, Symphony speaks to her about Kanan, and she still ain't trying to hear him. And he lets her know he cares about both her and Kanan, but it seems to me that Rock may be feeling some kind of way, I think, about the relationship between Kanan and Symphony. Symphony's saying that Kanan ain't made for this business, and Kanan's good, and he could be somebody, and he could do this and do that. And what's strange to me is that that's what Rock had wanted for him in the first place when she was putting him in the school and saying he got to go to college and all that. I thought she wanted him to be something better or different than what she was doing. Now it seemed like she's keeping him in the business and making sure he stays in it while everybody's telling her he ain't made up for it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Then we have Marvin signing into the anger management class, and the therapist, I think her name, she said is Renee. She let him know straight up that his attorney was dead wrong and that he had to participate in the class, and if he didn't, she would report him that he violated his probation. I said, oh snap, she made it clear, and it was a sister. You know she don't play. Lou is in the studio with Jess is in the bed with Lou's engineer making plans. What's his name? Crown. She in there sleeping with Crown all this time, and now we know why Lou was saying you ain't doing nothing with me. So he made a comment early about that. Lastly, we have Rock and Kanan. They talking about how he feels about the family business, and he's not sure if it's for him. And she, I don't know, Rock don't really listen well. She don't listen well at all. Because he's telling her, Symphony's telling her, Detective Howard told her. And lastly, Unique gets out of prison and Marvin's in a car watching him. Meanwhile, Rock is meeting up with Detective Howard in Baisley Pond Park. And that's how it ended. I said, okay, all right, y'all. So we going to see what goes down with that. And I want y'all to let me know if I missed anything or what y'all thought about the episode yourself. I would give this episode a score of 8 out of 10. I thought it was pretty good. So I'll see you in the next video. It's your girl Barbie J saying peace.